In the quiet town of Haverfordwest, Wales, during the early 1980s, two sisters lived in near silence. They were identical twins, June and Jennifer Gibbons, children of Caribbean immigrants who had moved to the UK seeking a better life. But what unfolded in their story would become one of the most haunting and mysterious psychological cases of the 20th century, a story of isolation, obsession, love, and tragedy. June and Jennifer were born on April 11, 1963, in Barbados, and soon after, their family relocated to Haverfordwest. From the outside, they seemed like any other pair of bright, curious little girls. But by the time they entered school, teachers and classmates began to notice something unusual. The twins hardly spoke, not to their peers, not to their teachers, not even to their parents. They only communicated with each other. And even then, they spoke in a private, secret language that no one else could understand. This strange form of communication was more than just a childhood game. It became a complete world, their own universe, where only the two of them existed. To outsiders, it appeared as if the twins had built an invisible wall between themselves and the rest of humanity. They mirrored each other's movements, walked in perfect synchronization, and even appeared to share thoughts. People in their community began to call them the silent twins. At school, their selective mutism made them the targets of ridicule. Other children mocked them, and teachers, frustrated by their silence, eventually decided to separate them into different schools, hoping it would encourage them to open up. But the result was catastrophic. The separation caused both girls to completely shut down. They became catatonic, motionless, almost lifeless, unable to function without the other. The experiment failed, and the girls were soon reunited. From that point on, their bond only grew darker and more intense. Back home, the twins withdrew from everyone. They would spend hours locked in their bedroom, writing stories, creating elaborate fantasy worlds, and recording long audio tapes in which they'd act out complex dramas. June wrote novels and poems, and Jennifer did the same. They were gifted writers, their imagination vast, their language strange and beautiful. But their creative worlds often reflected a growing obsession with violence, sex, and death. Their writings hinted at power struggles, jealousy, and an underlying competition between the two of them, as if one twin could not live without the other, but also could not live with her. Their parents, especially their mother, struggled to understand what was happening. Social workers, psychologists, and doctors all tried to reach the twins, but every attempt failed. The girls would only respond to each other. When spoken to, they would freeze, expressionless. To communicate, they used elaborate rituals, writing in diaries, speaking in whispers, or moving in perfect unison. It was as if they shared one mind, but two bodies. As they grew into their teenage years, their isolation deepened. They began experimenting with crime, small acts of vandalism, theft, and eventually arson. It was almost as if they were testing how far their bond could take them, how much destruction they could cause and still remain invisible to the world that had ignored them. Their crimes eventually caught up with them, and in 1981, at the age of 18, June and Jennifer were arrested and sentenced to indefinite detention at Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility in England. The decision shocked many.